I can see you. Hey guys, Matt Bartram here from Warrior Fitness and Health, and I'll coach busy people to create fitter and healthier lifestyles with my PT, my boot camps, and my nutritional consultations. Welcome to today's free live training. I hope you're all well as I film this. It's May, there's more sun coming out, there's less rain. Just feeling great after the dark winter. Some of you might have holidays coming up. If you've got holidays coming up, don't be leaving exercise, consistency and nutrition right till the last minute. Start now, cruise into the holiday, because remember, there's no such thing as a quick 4-week transformation or a 21-day detox before your holiday. It just doesn't work. Let's get stuck into it. Today's free life training. 5 simple tips that you can use to speed up your exercise recovery. Now, exercise recovery is super important because let's face it, if we're not recovering from exercise, if we're not feeling great, ready for the exercise we're about to do, because we're sore, we're tired, we've got DOMs, we're just generally not motivated because we're sore from the previous exercise, that is ultimately going to lead to days off. It's going to lead to lack of consistency, and that's going to lead to a lack of results. So recovery from exercise is absolutely key. In fact, an old mentor of mine once told me, your exercise is only as good as your ability to recover. Again, your exercise is only as good as your ability to recover. Now, before I go into the 5 tips for great recovery, there's something you really need to know. If you're on a fitness journey, there's 3 main parts to your body changing. First is called the stimulus. That is the exercise that you give it. So it's the boot camp, it's a group exercise, it's the swim, it's the gym, it's the mountain bike, it's whatever it is. The stimulus is the exercise you give your body where you get sweaty, you get out of breath, and you give the body some form of exercise stress. Part 2 is the recovery, where the body starts putting everything right from the damage that happened here. So we've got stimulus, and then over the next 2-3 days, we've got the body recovering from this. Part 3 is adaptation. This is the brain, the central nervous system, the peripheral nervous system, basically going, you do this stimulus, we've had to recover, I'm going to make your body a little bit stronger, fitter, faster, better. So when you do this again, it's a little bit easier. So there's 3 parts to the body change process. There's the exercise, there's the recovery, and there's the adaptation. Here's the key bit. If you don't give the body enough stimulus, it doesn't need to go into recovery, and it doesn't need to adapt to anything. If you do the exercise and the stimulus and you don't give it sufficient recovery, it can't go on to adaptation because this hasn't happened. And likewise, if you give it way too much stimulus, the body doesn't get a chance to recover, it doesn't get to go to adaptation because then you're exercising again. So the balance between stimulus, recovery, adaptation needs to be absolutely key, which is why people like me, PTs and coaches, we come up with formulas for people. You need to exercise 3 times a week. You need to exercise 4 times a week. You need to do twice one week and 3 times the next, and this, that and the other. Because what we're trying to get the human body to do, just the right amount of stimulus, just the right amount of recovery, just the right amount of adaptation, so we can go through the cycle again. It's almost like the Goldilocks rule, if you like. So that's why recovery, this middle section, is super hyper important. Right, let's get into it. 5 tips to help you maximum recovery. Tip number 1, you need to prevent overstimulation in the first place. If you give it too much stimulus, training 6, 7, 8, 9 times a week, you're never going to get enough time for recovery. You're never going to get onto adaptation. So, first bit of correct recovery, you've got to make sure you're not giving it too much stimulus. If you're training over 5 days a week, there's a real good chance at some point it's going to go wrong. Unless you're an athlete and you're being coached and your nutrition's on point and you've got a support team around you. The sweet spot with exercise can be anywhere between 2, 3 and 4 sessions a week. As soon as you start going 5, 6 and 7 exercise sessions per week, even if they're different types of exercise, that is never going to give you enough time to recover properly. So tip number 1, make sure you're not giving it too much stimulus and you're just giving it just the right amount. And if you don't know what the just the right amount is, you need to reach out to a PT, a coach and somebody who knows what they're doing. Tip number 2, I'm going to speak about the obvious one. It's sleep. You've got to be aiming for 8 hours sleep a night. And if possible, and don't hate me for this because some people can, some people can't. If it's all possible, a 30-minute nap at some point during the day can be beautiful to top up recovery. But the main thing is you should be aiming for 8 hours sleep of a night because sleep puts everything better and is the number 1 tool for recovery. Now, here's the thing. Notice I say 8 hours sleep. What that means is if you go to bed at 10 and you set an alarm for 6, you are not going to get 8 hours sleep. That is called the sleep opportunity window. By the time you've dropped off, nodded off, woke up a few times in the night, tossed and turned, and then woke up ready for the alarm, you may only be getting 7 hours 15 or something. So you may need, if you want 8 hours sleep in a day, you may need to give yourself a sleep opportunity of maybe 8.5 hours, 8 3/4. But you should be aiming for 8 hours sleep and maybe a nap in a day if you can. Tip number 3, nutrition. If you're giving it a load of stimulus, the body needs materials to set in some great recovery. It needs high quality protein. It needs high quality carbohydrates. It needs high quality fats and water and fibre. And this isn't a video to go into nutrition because I've previously done one of those and I'm probably going to do some more in the future. If you don't know what great nutrition is, again, you should be reaching out to a coach, a PT to go, how should I be eating in line with my goals? But if you're putting rubbish fuel in, your exercise quality or your stimulus is going to be pretty rubbish. Your recovery is going to be pretty rubbish and it's not going to have enough materials to make adaptation ready for the next exercise bout. Tip number 4. Now, you've got a choice. If you're sore, lethargic from exercise, what can be really useful is going for a massage. Nice deep tissue sports massage. It's going to reduce knots from the muscles. It's going to prevent adhesions on the muscle fibres and muscle fascias. It's going to remove lymph fluid. It's going to bring new blood into the muscles for the recovery and the adaptation. And just on the off chance you're saying, so what for you, Bartram, we can't afford a massage, or I don't want to go for a massage because I'm not that type of person. Foam rollers. Give yourself a foam roll and a massage. And if you don't know how to use these, if you've never been on one of these and give yourself a self-massage on the legs or the calves and cried a little bit, go onto YouTube, there's loads of free videos. But tip number 4, a massage can really help with recovery because it gets rid of the rubbish out of the muscles, it brings new materials, nutrients in, so the body can quickly get onto adaptation. Tip number 5, it's about preventing overtraining again. It's about listening to your body. So tip number 1 was making sure you're not giving it over stimulus, training 5, 6, 7 times a day. Tip number 5 is about recognising the signs that I might be a bit tired, I might be a bit sore, I might be having DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness from exercise, but I'm still due to train tonight. So to prevent me from bad recovery and bad adaptation in 5 days' time, I might do my exercise tonight, but I might only work at 60 to 75%. So I'm not giving it too much stimulation again. So we have to go to the start of the process. So step number 5, or tip number 5, would be, if you're already sore from exercise and something you did 2 days ago, and it's still really important that you're going to exercise today, you might go and do your exercise, get your tick in the box, but reduce your intensity. So it still allows some body recovery without going back to stimulus again. So quick summary, 5 steps for maximising recovery. Step number 1, don't give it too much stimulus. Don't be training 5, 6, 7 times a week. That is never going to allow recovery and adaptation. Step number 2, 8 hours sleep if you can, maybe some power naps. Step number 3, some absolutely great nutrition in you. from whole food sources. Protein, carbs, fats, fibre, water. Step number 4, deep tissue massage, sports massage, or do it yourself and be self-taught via YouTube. Tip number 5, listen to your body. If you're sore from exercise and you're due to exercise today or tomorrow and you're still sore, reduce the intensity a bit, get the lovely, beautiful mental health and flowing benefits from exercise without taking the body back to stimulus again, so it has to start the process again. There we go, 5 simple tips to help you with exercise recovery. I'm really interested. If you've watched this live, type live in the comments. If you're watching this at some point in the future on replay, type replay. More importantly, please comment if you know something really good that helps you with exercise recovery that maybe I've missed off on this list, because it isn't the top 5, it's just 5. If you know something that's super good for exercise recovery to keep you consistent with exercise and it makes you feel amazing in between exercise sessions, drop a comment down below so I learn and the community learns. As always, maybe you've watched this and thought somebody needs to see this, somebody needs to hear this. Tag them in, share it, send them on their way. As always, if I can assist you with exercise, recovery, nutrition, that sort of stuff, reach out, let's start the conversation and let's see what we can do. Love you all loads. See you in the next free training. Love you all loads. Have a great day.